Hello and welcome to Joy in Our Town. I'm Sherry Duckworth, and joining me today is Mr. Larry Duncan. He's the President and Board of Trustees for Dallas County Schools. Thank you for being with us today, Mr. Duncan.
I'm honored to be here.
It's a pleasure to meet you. For those who are watching today, when we say Dallas County Schools, I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, what's the difference between that and Dallas Independent School District? So what would you say to folks today who are watching who are wondering what exactly is Dallas County Schools?
Dallas County Schools is the oldest continuously operating school district in Texas, but we don't have any students, we don't have any teachers. The easiest way to explain it is back the first log cabin, one-room school was a Dallas County school, probably the 1850s. That grew over the years until the early 20th century when the independent school districts spun off. They took the teachers, they took the students, and Dallas County alone, out of all the counties in Texas, decided to keep Dallas County schools as a support function. For example, we provide transportation to the ISDs. There's 14 of them in Dallas County. We take 1,700 buses, 75,000 students a day to and from school.
Wow. So with the transportation that you all provide, how does that tie into working with the Dallas Independent School District?
Well, of course, they're the largest school district of the 14 in Dallas County, so we provide transportation for all of their students.
For all 14?
Well, there are all 10 of the 14. 4 choose to do their own.
Okay.
We do Irving. We do Carrollton Farmers Branch. In fact, Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD, as about 3 years ago, did an outside audit. These aren't our numbers. And they determined that we saved them $1.2 million each year by handling the transportation instead of them doing their own.
And so how does that affect the individual cities and the taxpayers when it comes to providing funds for the Dallas County schools?
What's a big relief? I tell people I'm not an educator, but if I can save some money for people who are educators in the independent school districts, then they can put it directly to use for students and teachers and textbooks and all the things you need to get our children a quality education.
I think that's probably a big question for those that will, watch anything that's talking about we're providing this for you, we're providing that for your children. Well, what exactly, we want our children to be provided for, but we want to know, is this going to mean more taxes for us, and how exactly does that work, since you're not actually with the school district in the city. So thank you for explaining that for us. When it comes to the large amount of students that you transport on your buses, a lot of people are concerned about safety, which is, of course, it's a precious cargo that you're carrying. So when it comes to safety on the school buses, how is that exactly regulated, and who do you all, answer to in that case?
We answer to the voters. And believe me, the most important thing is our children, our students. Wasn't that long ago that my daughter was one of those students going back and forth to a public school here in Dallas County. Yeah. But right now, one of the main issues we're dealing with is seat belts. Mm-hmm. And this is a little insight into how government works. 2 years ago, our state legislature passed a requirement that all school buses get seat belts. And they made that effective upon when the legislature, funded it. They've never done that yet. So they can go back and campaign and tell all their constituents how much they care about students because they created the requirement, but it's all smoke and mirrors. They're our kids. So at the last school year, we passed, all of our new buses. Every new bus we buy, we insist it be equipped with the 3-point seat belts, just like your private automobile.
Yes.
We allocated $750,000 the last budget year, last school year, another $500 this year to retrofit. So They're our responsibility first, regardless of what the legislature or anybody else does. We're going to take care of them.
That's right, because they are a precious cargo, and we definitely need to take care of our children and keep them safe as much as we can. Whenever we're talking about the legislation that was passed, were there a large amount of reports of injuries on buses from lack of seatbelt use? Not
really. It is surprisingly few. And in fact, the National Association of School Transportation Providers say you don't need seat belts. The buses are built, they're safe as they come from the factory. I'm sorry, that defies common sense. If we have to do it in our private vehicles, and if you'll recall, it's been 2 or 3 years now, there was a tragedy in Atlanta, Georgia, where a team from a small college, a baseball team, was going to a tournament, and they drove off an overpass. Well, every student on that bus, it was a coach bus, but the same principle applies. Every student who remained in the bus lived. Everyone that was thrown out died. Common sense tells us seat belts are important. We're going to move to them as rapidly as we can.
So for those that are watching and are saying, well, I want to make sure in my county or in my school district that my kids are riding in buses with seat belts, who do they contact? Who do they talk to make sure that this can be done as quickly as possible?
In my view, the school trustees are directly responsible. I would never put it off to the legislature. Yes, they have their role here in Texas, but we're the ones on the line. And in Dallas County, virtually, most folks can contact us. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is it costs over $13,000 to retrofit a bus. Your automobile comes from the factory with hard points where you can attach the belts. School buses weren't built that way. So we have to restructure the undercarriage so they got something solid to hook it to, and we have to replace all the seats. And we're doing it as rapidly as we can move forward, but we're going to do it.
So you're going to do it. It's going to take time.